This is a production of WKNO Memphis. Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
My guest today on Sports Files is professional golfer Loren Roberts. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports Files. For over 30 years, Loren Roberts has been splitting fairways and dropping putts at golf's highest level. He was an 8-time winner on the PGA Tour and has gone on to win 13 times on the Champions Tour, capturing 4 major titles in the process. This season, Loren stands 22nd on the money list, heading to this year's final 2 events, which includes the annual Charles Schwab Cup coming up in 2 weeks. But for all his accomplishments on the links, the modest, somewhat quiet Roberts is just as proud for what he's done off it. His association with the St. Jude Classic has been a long, distinguished one. His annual Pro-Am golf event benefits Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, something extremely important to Loren and his family. And his commitment to the First Tee of Memphis has been essential to the growth of that organization, which you will find out firsthand later in the show. We're talking birdies and eagles with the boss of the Moss, Loren Roberts, coming up next. Loren, thanks so much for joining us.
Greg, my pleasure. Thanks for having me in.
Happen to have an open week here, and we appreciate the boss of the Moss being with us. Loren, you got a victory this year. You're 22nd on the money list. You're getting ready for the Schwab Cup coming up. How would you describe your season to date?
Well, I got started good, obviously, with a victory early in the year, and then last week was my first top 10 since then. So it's been a little different week, different year, but I am 57 now, but I'm looking to hopefully keep playing until probably about 60 and stay competitive till 60. But hey, golf is a lifestyle for me, so anytime you're playing anywhere, it's great.
Yeah, you beat me to the punch. I was wondering about that as far as how long you want to continue to go in this competitive mode, week in, week out, all the travel. So you're saying maybe 3 more years, that's it?
Well, I'm going to definitely hope I can stay competitive, for the chance to win until I'm 60. And then after that, I'm going to play some. It'll be fun golf. Obviously I want to be competitive in the major championships for us, which is, that's key for me. The senior US, the senior British, those senior PGA. That's where I want to be competitive. And we'll just see how it goes. Has
the Champions Tour changed since you started in it to where it is now?
Oh, it really has. I mean, really, it's gone from really an exhibition tour from the older guys, the guys that came from Nicklaus and Palmer and even guys before them. It's gone from an exhibition tour to really a competitive tour now because guys are staying competitive on the regular tour until the day they turn 50,
right,
and coming out on our tour and still keeping that competitive edge. So you look at guys that are coming out, Freddie Couples plays, Kenny Perry. I mean, we got Vijay Singh coming out next year. Guys that are still very competitive on the regular tour. So, and I've noticed the length of the golf courses we've gained probably 200 to 300 yards in length on the golf. We're playing, most courses are 7,000 yards now, which it wasn't like that even when I started in 05.
You've accomplished so much. On the Champions Tour, you've won 4 majors.
Yeah.
What is your biggest accomplishment in the game of golf on both tours or anything else that comes to mind?
Well, obviously it was nice to get some majors. I really enjoyed winning, the 2 senior British that I had because that to me that's where golf started, and I won at Turnberry, which was the great, duel to shore, with Nicklaus and Watson and so much history there. It was great to win that. Obviously, I still hurt a little bit from that U.S. Open loss to Ernie.
I was going to ask you that, right?
That U.S. Open loss to Ernie Els. That was a lot of stuff going on there, and it was tough. I had the chance to win there, but hey, it was great being there. I had a chance to win the Masters in 2000, ended up 3rd. So that's probably the one thing that kind of sticks to me a little bit, that I didn't get a major on the regular tour.
And obviously, if I asked you if you had a do-over for a tournament, you would say the U.S. Open, you'd want a victory on the PGA Tour as far as the majors are concerned.
Right.
But how about if I asked you if there was one shot one shot you could do over, or a putt you can do over, what tournament would it be in?
Oh, that's easy. I had a 6.5-foot putt for par in the U.S. Open. Ernie Els. I mean, if I knock that putt in, it's over with. I win the tournament outright. Then we had to go into playoff the next day. That's the one shot I wish I'd had back. Especially when you're kind of known as a good putter, boss of the Moss.
Good putter.
To have missed that one, but that's the way it goes.
Was that a read miscue? Was that nerves? Was it just, hey, these things happen?
Well, it took me a while to get my career going. I played 12 and a half years before I won a tournament on the tour, which was 94 at Bay Hill earlier that year. So, and I remember I had a 6-foot putt on the same type of putt on the 17th hole for par that I needed to make to beat VJ and Fuzzy, and I knocked it right in the hole, was no problem. So I had the same putt, 3 months later at the U.S. Open, and I missed it. That's the one thing that I really remember is that one shot, that putt, because you win a major championship, that your life can change. It really can. And I'm very happy with my career I've had, though.
Lauren, how competitive would you describe yourself? And do you believe to be really successful as a professional golfer on any level, you have to be very competitive. You have to almost be downright, I don't want to say cutthroat, but you don't want to go out there. It's not a friendly Sunday afternoon with your buddies having a couple of beers and just playing 18 holes.
Yeah, no, you have to be. I don't care what field that you're in. You have to be competitive. You have to want to continually improve all the time. That's the key no matter what you do. You want to always try to get better all the time, improve, do what you can to get better. I've always felt that I'm a very, very highly competitive. But it's kind of like the duck paddling across the pond. Those legs are going like crazy. You just don't want to show it.
Right,
above.
Right.
You want to have that, that heart of fire, but you have to be able to handle it in the right way.
When you were growing up in California and trying to get to this level that you've gotten to, who did you emulate? Who were the golfers that you looked up to?
Well, I just remember that I would get these golf magazines and I'd cut out pictures of Jack Nicklaus, and I'd make these collages where I cut all these pictures out and paste them up on a big board.
Wow.
and I have them up in my bedroom, and he was kind of my idol growing up. And but I had some interesting things. It's like any sport or any profession. When you get to a certain level, you meet people and you develop relationships with guys that have been there and done that. And that's the great thing about, at least for me in the golf world, is that the guys that have come before, you get those relationships. And I had a couple of great ones that really helped me. Olin Dutra was the 1932 U.S. Open champion, 34 PGA champion, gave golf lessons at this club of this town that I lived at in San Luis, and he took me under his wing and talked about putting, and we'd go out and play 9 holes together. And he was 70-something years old back then, and we'd go out and then I had a relationship with Byron Nelson that was just fabulous. And you get those kind of things for me through golf that those kind of really help to propel you.
You still have the collage of Nicklaus?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Maybe worth something today.
I think it's probably be faded by now.
What would people be surprised to know about you? Something they don't know that they would be surprised to know about you. Could be away from the golf course, something you like to do. They would, wow, he's,
well,
like punk rock. I mean, what is it, Lauren, that people would be like, wow?
Yeah, well, I'm a family guy. I love being around my family.
Right.
And really, I spend so much time on the road. Basically, I hate to say it, I probably spent more time with my caddy over the last 30 years than maybe I spent with my wife. But, I just love being at home with my family and spending time with them. And I like working around the house. And my wife and I kind of like to drive around. We're kind of into architecture, which we kind of like to look around and look at different types of architecture and houses and buildings and things like that. And kind of, we're kind of like pickers, we like to go through, look at all antique shops and things like that. That's kind of what I like to do when I'm not at the golf course.
Most people know you played on the 95 Ryder Cup team that lost. You've also played on 2 winning President's Cup teams. I know you were at Medina on Sunday, the final round for this year's Ryder Cup. The U.S. lose a 4-point lead. Your thoughts, would there be anything you would have done differently if you were the captain? Talk about this, I don't know if I want to call it a collapse, but a loss by the United States again.
It was a pretty big loss. And first of all, you mentioned President's Cup versus Ryder Cup. There's big differences between both. And the Ryder Cup obviously is the preeminent event because it's been around for so long. And I don't know what it is. The U.S. dominated that for 50 plus years, and now we're just really struggling. It was great to get the win up the road to Louisville 4 years ago, but it's been a tough road. It's hard to second guess, obviously, Davis. We were right there, basically had it. It really, what it boils down to is emotion and digging deep and wanting it. And, the fellowship is great. I mean, it's great to be there and spend time with the players, because basically that would be our Olympics. I know golf is going to be in the Olympics, but this has been our Olympics because it's the only time we play a team sport. We play an individual game, so it's a team sport. And it's just a matter of wanting to dig down deep and want to get it. And
so do the Europeans, the last 2 times they've won, do they want it more?
Well, it just seems to me like they just have more emotion when they come out, more emotion. It's tough. When you come out in the second half with a huge lead in any sport, you've got to be able to finish it off. And I know they're going to seriously look back at, what did we do? And I was on a losing team in '95, and we had, I think, 1 or 2 point lead going into Sunday, and we ended up losing. So it's the emotion of the thing that you do it. And I would question a couple things about maybe course setup or something like that.
Okay. But not player selection.
No, not player selection.
And you were an assistant coach, one of the Ryder Cups. What year was that?
That was 2006.
So if you are a captain, assistant captain, if you are the captain, you are going to be, if you lose, you're second guessed no matter what. You should have picked this guy. You should have not put that guy on the team. Should have not paired those two, right?
It's a tough situation. It's a lose-lose situation no matter what you do. The captain gets blamed for the loss, but basically once you send the players out there, they have to play. I mean, you have to make the plays. You have to hit the shots. You have to hold the putts at the right time. And it's up to the players to do it. Now, how you space them and who goes up against who is the tricky thing. All right.
I know you're very modest in what you do for the Memphis community, for the golf community, for the charitable events that you are part of. Obviously, Le Bonheur is very, very close to your heart, Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, where my wife works. Also, the First Tee of Memphis.
Yes.
The First Tee of Memphis has really taken off, especially over the last 5 to 10 years. Nyrone Hawkins has done a tremendous job with that. Great young men and women, boys and girls, I should say, that are learning the game of golf, and you're a big part of that. Lauren, why is it so passionate for you, the First Tee of Memphis?
Well, I got involved originally back in 1994, and I have to throw it out there for Cal and Melba Vincent and Charles Hudson, because they were the ones that really started this program back, early 90s, and it was down at Pine Hill, and I was looking for some sort of a junior golf program. You were talking about that, the President's Cup that year. It was the first year I played in the President's Cup, and they were giving players, money to donate to their favorite charity. So I was looking for a youth golf program to make this donation to, and I asked all the local professionals around town, what do you think is the best junior golf program around town? And without a single one disagreeing, they always said the First Tee of Memphis. At that time, it was Mid-South Junior Golf Association. The kids are great. They come out, they play. They are the most well-mannered, nicest kids that we have. And I said, I want to find out about them. So I got in touch with them, and it just started from there. And it's obviously become the First Tee of Memphis now, and grown. And it's just a great program. It really is, because it's just so diverse, and kids from all over different parts of town, and it's just it's a great program. And there's scholarship possibilities through it. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it.
And they're very receptive of what you have to tell them and to teach them.
Oh yeah, without question. I mean, obviously golf is not the whole idea of First Tee. That's just one of the things. That's one of the things to get them there, to have something in common, a game to play. It's about the 9 core values. It's about being a good citizen, about responsibility, about sportsmanship. It's about life, and that's why I'm so jazzed about it, really.
And you have children of your own, and you want to be able to help if you're in position to help, and that's what you've done. Again, you've flown under the radar. You don't make a big deal about it, and we have to build it up, Lauren, because we know how important you are to this community.
Well, the whole thing is about the kids. The important thing is the kids in the program, and because they're going to be the leaders. They're going to be the future leaders, and that's what's great about getting them going and making them the focus.
And obviously with Le Bonheur, you have children there who have suffered, who are trying to get well. Boy, you want to get emotional, go over to Le Bonheur Children's Hospital, as you know, and walk around there. But talk about that for a few moments, about the passion you have for that.
Well, it was great. It actually started out raising money for Le Bonheur and for their sickle cell center that they had down there, which at that particular time was just kind of out down in the corner of the emergency room down at the bottom of the hospital.
Right.
And so we thought, well, this would be a great little thing to do to help raise some money, and we ran a tournament for 12 years for them and raised a significant amount of money for them and grew that program, and now that program has moved over to St. Jude, and so now we're involved with I think prenatal care at Le Bonheur. So during the tournament, we used to go, players would go down and visit St. Jude, because that was the recipient for the FedEx St. Jude tournament. And I would go down there and see some of these kids that were suffering with these diseases that were unbelievable, different forms of cancer. And I want to tell you what, they would have better attitudes than maybe some pros I'd seen who just missed a 7-iron out on the 8th hole.
Right.
And to that is that was amazing. So how could you not get involved and try to help some way?
Well, more power to you. Thank you so much for all you do as far as that's concerned. All right, we got 2 more tournaments. You have the Schwab Cup coming up. Chances?
Well, I feel like maybe I've got a little something going. That's the thing in golf. You're always positive.
Right.
Well, next week I got a little something working here, maybe.
So you missed that next 5-footer, and that's what happened?
Yeah, right. So I'm looking to maybe make a little noise. Hopefully, the last 2 tournaments of the year, we've got the AT&T down in San Antonio. Then we finish with the Schwab Cup. But kind of looking forward to already building towards next year. So I'd like to finish strong and get ready for next year.
All right. Lauren, we'd like to end our interviews with 5 for the road, although I might add it a couple more make it 7 for the road for you. Quick question, quick answers, first thing that comes to your mind. I'm adding these 2. We don't normally do this with our guests because we don't normally have professional golfers. Favorite golf course?
Anywhere I've won.
I thought you were going to go St. Andrews or something, maybe Turnberry.
No, if I had to give you my favorite golf course, I'd say Shinnecock.
Shinnecock, okay. How about least favorite? Just don't like playing there. You've struggled.
I have never played good at Olympic Club in San Francisco.
Really? That's stomping grounds.
I know, that's all I'll say. I've never played good there.
Wow, that's hard to believe. All right, your favorite professional sports team?
San Francisco 49ers.
Okay. I didn't know if you'd go Memphis Grizzlies or something.
I still have California roots. I hate to say it.
Well, we know. You're a transplanted Californian. Yeah. Your favorite professional athlete of all time?
Oh, gosh. That's favorite professional
Well, you
athlete.
like the Niners.
Well, you know what? When I was a kid, I was a baseball player. I wasn't a golfer when I was a kid.
Okay.
And Johnny Bench was my favorite because I was a catcher.
Big
all,
red
all the
machine.
way up through high school when I decided to start playing golf in high school.
Really? So you're a baseball player?
Johnny Bench was my idol.
What made you decide to change? What made you? Did the batting average dip under 200 or something? What happened?
I hit a line drive to right field and got thrown out at first base, so that's why I figured that ain't my sport.
You had golf clubs on your on your back running to first base.
Exactly.
Wow. All right. Favorite musician, singer, artist, group. What music do you like to listen to?
This is going to age me, but Frank Sinatra is my favorite. I'm sorry.
New Jersey guy like me.
I love Frank Sinatra.
Old Blue Eyes.
Yeah,
you ever pop on one of those iPods there and listen to it?
Hey, it's the CDs in my car right now. I was listening to it on the way to the station.
There's something we found out we didn't know about, Lauren. 2 more. Favorite television show of all time? You probably don't watch a lot of TV.
This is really going to date me.
Okay.
But, when I was a kid,
job dating
you remember the show Mr. Ed, the talking horse? Yeah.
That's your all-time favorite?
That was my all-time favorite show. That and Rat Patrol. Those are my 2 favorite ones.
You are dating yourself. And finally, what's your favorite movie? Maybe there's a golf movie or what do you like?
I like the old classics. Gone with the Wind. I like The Sound of Music.
Citizen
my
Kane.
my all-time favorite.
What's that?
This might embarrass you. It might embarrass me. My Fair Lady.
My Fair Lady. The things we find out about the boss of the boss, Lauren Roberts. Lauren, thank you so much.
All right, great,
Absolute
thanks.
pleasure.
All right, thank you.
Last weekend, golfers from the First Tee of Memphis defeated their counterparts from the First Tee of Nashville in an event called the I-40 Challenge Cup. Leading the way for the Memphis team with a 3-0 match record was Malik Luckett, the First Tee of Memphis Player of the Year, who joins me now. Malik, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, tell us about your involvement with the First Tee of Memphis. When did you get started, and why did you get started in it?
I got involved with the First Tee when I was 8 years old. My dad played golf in college, and he asked me if I was interested in it, and I said, not really, but I still joined, and I ended up liking it.
Why weren't you interested at first? Why'd you say no to him?
Well, I was a basketball player when I was 8, and I was really interested in basketball, but I got interested in golf really easily.
Yeah, once you got started, what was it about golf that you liked?
That you had to practice, and once you hit that first solid shot, the sweet spot, you just want to be able to repeat that shot over and over again.
And unlike basketball, when you can depend on teammates, it's all about you.
Yes, sir. But I played golf for my high school as well, so golf can be a team sport, but it is individual, which I enjoy.
All right, Lauren Roberts, what type of an influence has he had on you?
He has had a big influence on me. He helps me with the game of golf, whether it be incorporating the life skills, what to do on and off the course, honestly.
Yeah, all you guys that are involved in First Tee of Memphis, it's not just golf. You're learning, as you said, life skills, life lessons, learning to be better young men and women. Academically, it helps you. It's more than just golf, right?
Yes, sir. It helps you become a better person. It teaches you the life skills, responsibility, sportsmanship, and it helps you incorporate those on and off the course.
You're a varsity golfer for White Station High School. How's that going with the Spartans?
Well, our season's over. I didn't qualify for state this year, but I am a 2-time state qualifier my freshman and sophomore year, and a 2-time All-Metro selection.
Well, congratulations on that. And you got a senior year still to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, have you started to think about college, where you want to attend, what you want to study, and will you play golf?
I would love to play college golf, but as of where, I'm undecided right now. I'm still looking for the right place or what I have the most interest in, really.
All right, you just came off that Challenge Cup victory over Nashville. You kicked some butt. You went 3-0 in your matches. How was that? It was like almost a mini Ryder Cup, if you will.
It is, and it was great. This was our 4th year. This was the first year we beat Nashville, and I'm also undefeated in my singles matches. I just want to put that out there. And yeah, this is the first year we won, and it was great.
Malik, who do you follow as far as professional golfers? Who do you like to watch?
Of course, Tiger Woods.
Sure.
I like Padraig Harrington as well, and it's just anyone who's hot.
Well, how about Rory McIlroy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's been hot. He had a hot year. All right, talk about your game. Where do you feel you are very strong at, and where do you really have to work at to be a better golfer?
I feel I have a really strong short game. Around the greens, I can get up and down from virtually anywhere, and I feel I could improve my ball striking, just getting on greens and regulations and splitting the fairways like Mr. Roberts here.
You were talking about being 8 years old playing basketball. I'm sure all your friends were playing basketball or football and not golf, and then you got into it. Do you see now more young men, young boys, girls your age getting into golf or wanting to get into golf?
Yes, sir. I see a lot of them becoming extremely interested in it, and if this keeps going, then golf will be more than just a game, as some people look at it as. It'll be an actual sport. Or it is an actual sport, but a lot of people don't view it as an actual sport.
All right, First Tee of Memphis, how many more years are you involved in? Is it up through high school?
Yes, sir. Once you're 17, I think that's the max, and I'm 16 now, so I have 1 more year.
All right, you have 30 seconds to tell the young boys and girls out there why it's so important to get involved with the First Tee of Memphis, if that's the route they want to go.
First Tee of Memphis helps you with life skills that'll help you improve your grades, improve your social skills. It'll help you become an overall better person, and you'll learn a new game, which is really fun.
Malik, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure. Best of luck. And that'll do it for this week's show. Remember, if you have a topic for our program, drop us a line at sportsfiles@wkno.org. And to view any of our previous shows, head to the website, click on KNO Tonight. We'll see you next time.